Good afternoon. My name is Meah-Morgan, and today I'm going to present to you a little bit of Spotify data that I've collected and I have turned into visual charts for you to analyze. The single thought driving this analysis is to inform Spotify's playlist curation strategy by identifying the audio features that strongly correlate with track popularity and genre volume, allowing us to better serve user demand. We built this analysis on data from Kaggle. Kaggle is a credible source because it's vetted by thousands of data experts, providing excellent quality control. Our data covers a vast historical range from 1950s all the way to November of 2024. While this data is fantastic for seeing long-term trends, we must supplement it with a separate analysis of the last 6 months in order to capture the newest micro trends of today's time. I'll walk you through our most powerful visualizations. Here I present to you a line graph that shows and answers the question, has song popularity changed over time? So here you can see around the 1960s, the average track popularity was about 80 out of 100. Moving forward to 1964, 83, we do see a dip in music popularity up till about the 2000s when that Y2K was going on. And as you can see, I've went ahead and highlighted the top points of when music was trending the most. Here I have created a scatter plot that shows the relationship between tempo and danceability. So as you can see, danceability is down here, and tempo is going to be on this y-axis. I went ahead and added some trend lines so you can see the correlation. And I've selected hip hop and pop to show the correlation between the two. If there's more tempo, does it make it more danceable? And as you can see here, tempo doesn't make it more danceable, but keeping it at a certain tempo keeps it in line to be danceable. Moving forward, I have a bar graph that goes ahead and shows which genres are the most danceable. I've organized it from ascending to descending, and our number one genre that is most danceable is pop. Moving forward, we have hip hop and then Latin. Falling short is rock and electronic. Personally, I think electronic is the vibe. I have another scatter plot that shows do louder tracks tend to be more energetic. I went ahead and added another trend line, and here you can see we have loudness starting off at 0 over here, negative this way. So negative means it's very, very, very soft, and energy is on our y-axis again. It seems that the more the track is not blaring, obviously, and it's just a little soft, our trend line shows, and based on the scatter plot, that is where you get the most energy, the most flow. I created a horizontal bar graph to express what the most common time signatures are in popular music. And taking the lead here, we can see that 4 time signatures is by far the most popular in music. I decided to do a box and whiskers bar graph for this one to show how do track durations vary across genres. And here we can see, although classical has a wide spread, you keep consistency with things like K-pop and Arabic. Now, I had so much fun making this one. This is a tree map. It was one of my wild cards. I've never made a tree map before. I put so much time and effort into this, so I really hope you enjoy. What I was trying to show here is the genre dominance and the valence correlation. So valence is going to be something like positivity, or are these genres giving positivity? And as we can see here, taking the lead in positivity would be Latin music, but I did a double whammy on here. So if you notice, pop is a bigger square versus Latin. That's because there's more pop music produced than there is Latin music produced. But the Latin music that is produced versus the pop music that is produced, Latin music seems to have a more of a median valence, coming in at 0.60. Now, valence is on a scale of 0 to 1, while pop is falling right under it at 0.59. But there's way more pop tracks produced than there are Latin tracks produced. So I think Bad Bunny has a lot to do with that. That could be speculation. And for my final wild card, I went ahead and made a histogram. Our histogram shows the distribution of loudness as it is in a vital technical insight. I think for this, it reveals huge data, and it helps us to understand that majority of the song's loudness that has been produced from the 1950s to November of 2024 in this data set, they had a loudness of about negative 6.35. And there were 398 tracks produced in that time period in this data set that correlated with that loudness level. Considering all of the data from this data set that we have collected and all of the trends and analysis we have been able to see here, I would say that we still need to focus on the idea that there is a huge gap in this music and this music trend because it stops in November of 2024. We're almost in November of 2025, and a lot has changed since then. We've got new headphones, we have new iPhones, we now have wireless CarPlay, so if you forget your charger, you can still listen to Spotify because it's wireless. And I think that needs to be taken into accountability.